So when you were writing Linda, in so if all those things back then, didn't you think that Ghana for?
I remember when I was interviewed and I said I could have said Eneana Judea Medu, but I didn't say that. I said Eneana Judea Pine. So cut me a slack because I dressed it up. So back then, even at that time, we would want to defend something, but, dress it up a bit. They didn't give me the award, but the next year I was there to perform the same song at that award show.
Can you imagine? I mean... All right, people, welcome to another exciting episode of the Sincerely Accra podcast. You know what it is. My name is Joseph NT, okay? This podcast is brought to you kind courtesy of the GCR network. That's the Gold Coast Report, the number one podcast hosting network. Hey, Mr. Podcast. The number one podcast hosting network in the whole Ghana, of course. And look, I will be remiss if I don't shout out my co-creator and producer, Mr. Kwame Asante Ofori. Today, we have a very special guest, okay? It's gotten to a point where right now, if the guest is not special, we don't want them. When we blow our own trumpets, Ghanaians have a problem. But you know what it is? Tell you the truth. Today, we have a very special guest, okay? When we're talking about icons, legends, what do you get when you put all of that in one? Okay? The most explosive career that has been and continues to be. I don't know if by now you've got it, but if it's on YouTube, you have seen the name. But today, we're speaking to the man. Not the myth. He's not a myth. He's not a myth. He's a legend. He's an icon. He is the moment. We're talking to Samini Dagaati.
Yes,
welcome.
Sir. Thank you.
You look very colorful today.
Thank you.
Yeah, before the camera started, we were talking about his outfit and how he just picked his shoes this morning.
Yeah.
How are you doing?
Charlie, I did try small,
Thank you so much for gracing our show.
Thanks for having me.
So we're going to get straight into it. I found out that your dad used to make you carry food from Nima to Dansoman because he didn't want you to go to Farnwell to go and perform.
Yeah, that's true.
Really?
That's true, yeah. We had livestock. He used to have goats and sheep and, ducks and all of that.
Oh.
And, my mom also makes pito, right?
No, I didn't know about that.
Okay, so my mom is one of the best, if not the best, pito brewers in Ghana.
Oh, really?
And my brand of pito soon come out.
Hey.
I'm just working on making sure that everything that you have to, every box you need to check as a beer brewer, I'll check it. But this is like a local beer without no extra additives. You can call it like an organic local beer.
pito.
Yeah. So that's by the side. So our pito brewing place was in Nima.
Okay.
Right. So the chaff after you've sieved the millet is what the animals eat.
Oh, okay.
So my dad's plan was to keep me busy so I don't go out there to do what I wanted to do, which is go to Funworld and rehearse and then get to perform on the weekends. So then he would send me on these errands.
What do you think his problem was with you going to Funworld?
I think that whole stereotype of entertainers not making it in life in terms of not being responsible in society eventually. Mm-hmm. Most of them are seen as wasteful when they make it and then eventually can't, boast of anything after.
Right.
So those things have parents from our era very, very, very skeptical when it comes to allowing their kids to do that and just that. Mm. And my thing was I wasn't paying attention in school like I should. So even though I knew I had what it took to do well in school, I was just distracted. Mm. So his was to make sure he makes me understand that won't work here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he sent me on
did
the
you
most
understand
school.
it? Or did you like...
No, I didn't get it.
You didn't get it. You just
my mom always would explain to me why I should just see it as a form of training. And then also she would also always, remind me of why I have been sent on such an errand. And next time, make sure you don't get your dad so angry to be telling you to do these things.
Okay.
Because it's always about me not being home at the right time or not coming back at all. Yeah, going for 3 days. Yeah. The code was hard.
Yes. So would you say your mom was more supportive of your artistry?
110.
Oh, okay.
She was like my biggest fan.
Okay, it was like good cop, bad cop in the house. I see.
Yeah.
You said in an interview that you started writing rap verses as as little as 9.
Yeah.
So at 9 years old, what was it? Was that, oh, I'm going to become a rapper? What was it at 9 years old?
I just liked the concept of art. So I think the skill of rhyming, fascinated me. So I always wanted to see how many 8 words I can get rhyming and whether or not the story would make sense. So it was more like a poem to me. But then when there's a beat, I can, flow with it. So growing up, we started off with a small group where myself and a few other guys in my area were doing music together. So I would write for every one of them.
At 9?
Around this time, I was like 14.
14. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so, by 9, I was writing. I would write and read it out to my big brother, and he'd go like, yo, that's dope.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know you come from a very large family.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll even get to the number of siblings and
the large family getting larger by the day.
Hey, extra large.
Yes.
No, but also I know you kind of like had a lot of experience with like the band, listening to military bands and stuff. Did you live around the military base or something?
No, we actually lived around the Sankara interchange.
Okay.
Which was formerly Sankara Circle.
Okay.
So around 9 is when we moved to DC. So I used to see Rawlings and the troop, march past during the independence. I've seen, what it looked like to be in a military rule as a kid.
Okay.
And then eventually when democracy came in 1992, then we saw an election for the first time. So some of us are privileged to have seen these faces and then to also have seen from, you would call my generation, whatever you'd want to call it, to Gen Z. We've seen all of it and we're still like, we still understand kind of. So it's been quite an interesting journey for me.
What? I know you are 43.
Yeah.
So what do you call, is that millennials, right?
Find it for me. I
don't know. Is it guys?
I want to know what to call myself.
Gen X?
We're Gen X, right? Gen X, after Gen X is
millennials.
Oh, it's you people.
Then Gen Z. Then what? Gen Alpha? Okay.
No, there's a Gen something again after Gen Z.
Yes, Gen Alpha.
Oh, but Gen Z no last crowd. The way you guys rush, I shock.
Yeah. Because like 26 per then is cut off.
The way Gen Z flex me, shocks say last crowd. So somebody come out to you, they call somebody Gen A.
Alpha.
Gen Alpha.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, for Gen Z. Wow.
Akbar, Charlie. It's time for them to move on. Okay, so I saw in one of your interviews that, the reason why you called yourself Batman, which I just found out is best of all time man. I had no idea. But apparently, back then you guys were doing this whole cartoon character thing.
Yep.
This is why you have Yogi.
Exactly. That was the era.
And you went with Batman.
Yeah.
I see.
That was the era.
Was that like your favorite cartoon or you just like what he stood for?
Yeah, it was one of my favorite comic, books and then the cartoon version of it and everything. Like I liked that. And then also it looked like almost every interesting character had been taken. So it was just, perfect for me.
So wait, was there Superman?
I didn't really want to use Superman.
Okay.
Yeah. there was
so
super
apart from
something.
Yogi, who else was using a cartoon name? I can't really remember.
Oh, there were a few. But I just thought something that I could also find a meaning for. So the BAT, I struggled in my head as a kid to just make sense out of something before I use it.
Best of all time at 19.
I was Batman before 19, so this would be like maybe at 16. Yeah. 16,
Did you always
17.
know that like you'd have a larger than life career? Because if I think about at 16, best of all time man is how you like define the BAT from. It's like, okay, you really saw it coming for yourself, or it's just you being positive?
I would humbly admit that I saw it, and it scared me. And then it also meant that I had to embrace the reality and prep for it.
Right.
So, like I said in other interviews, I used to tell my mates to take pictures with me because after school, if you say you were in class with me, you're going to have to explain. I used to tell the photographer himself, give them the camera, let them take shots of you. And I remember going back to the school years after, and then that same photographer was there. He showed me a picture of me and him and said, this picture is what makes me able to explain that I know you.
I know that.
And I remember when you said we should take this picture.
What?
So things like that is what, when I have flashbacks of, it makes me know that when you know yourself, people around you would pick up on who you are. And if they accept that, they would come with you on the journey.
Yeah.
Because I, would sound arrogant at that time. I would sound, too known at that time.
That's the thing. I was going to say, sorry to cut you. Ghanaians, I feel like anybody that is not what they deem to be humble, the next thing is to
rush.
Yes.
The rush.
And it's just unimaginative, guys. There's actually words for it, like confidence. You know who you are, but then you say, "Oh, you too know." It's so crazy. Anyway, talking about the school, are you talking about Margaret Mary?
Yeah, Margaret Mary.
Okay, so I went to St. Bernadette.
Oh, okay.
I went to see boy from Snip Flat to Roundabout here, and one of the reasons why I know you and I know you like way back was because we found out that you went to Margaret Mary.
Yeah.
And we grew up in DC, so we used to walk from school to the house. And a bunch of us that were in DC, I was in class with Kokoveli's sister, Felicia.
Okay.
Felicia Totime.
Okay.
And she would never shut up about it. And then Kokoveli went to do this. And he went to do so we always already knew about you guys.
Right.
And then we found out you went to Margaret Mary.
Yeah.
It was a whole thing. I think TikTok sister was in Martin de Porres as well.
Yeah.
So we like, you know how Americans like claim their stars based on the states they are from? That's what it was for us when we were young. Yeah. So Margaret Mary, I really know that. But I would say the first time I actually like took notice of the group was Zaza. Yes, Zaza was an era. 2003. And I find it so interesting that you started off your career with a lot of features.
Yeah.
Because I'm looking back at so guys, if you don't know, Batman, Kokoveli, and KK Fusu, they used to be in a group together unofficially, actually, right? Because there was somebody that just said the Trinity,
and then it became a thing. But we enjoyed the ride. It was great.
They used to perform together, and I realized that Kokoveli had a song, KK Fusu had a song, but back then I don't think Baba had a song because I know you were on Alele KK Fusu, and then you were on Zaza with Kokoveli, and then there was one more, Suje too was KK Fusu. Yeah, and they used to perform it. There was a guy that used to style you guys. Is it
Beware?
Beware.
Yeah. Brown Samuels. Yeah, he's there.
Is he around?
Yeah, he's there. He's still in DC. I think still the same shop. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And like they were a group. Talk about that era. What was that like? How did you guys meet? And then how did you guys go from hanging out, meeting to actually doing music?
I think, like you rightly said, we grew up in the same area. So after high school, most of us were like hanging out together. And Kokoveli was already in a group called Popcorn. Yeah.
Okay.
They did Ashola. I mean, you would not know.
I don't know.
So
92.
Coco already had the experience. He was like, I think 2 years my senior.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So he already had the experience and was doing his thing. I was doing my hood performances here and there. So then he got to have a hit song through the Zaza, which featured me.
Yeah.
Around that time, I was featuring on every song, given any opportunity, because you needed a route to be heard.
Oh, okay.
And most of these people that were recording in the studios were people that had been sponsored by, financiers so that they can have studio time and get to, record their material.
Did you not have money for studio time?
Exactly. So that was my route.
Okay.
I'll hang out at the studio.
That's
Nana
smart.
King's backyard. I'll be there. When you come and you drop your beat, I'll start freestyling already. So then your mind will be like, for free, make your guy do some small thing for them. I'm trying to be heard, So before I knew, everybody, my voice was everywhere. So that gave, the chance for Coco to have me on that, his Zaza hit.
Yeah.
Because I was like already a hit voice on radio with features.
Okay,
so
yes, true.
I did the Zaza.
Yes.
Yeah.
I forgot. I think your first major feature was Mary Japan.
Yeah.
Chino Bremi.
That was 2001.
Do you remember your verse on that?
Yeah. I think wow.
Ebani say,
Yes.
no, they
Ebani chain. Millions can come in and mako through Mushain. Namako chain mako bisane say Aden. Batman and Mary we sing say, she no bring me hunche me, I was seeing a gumi. And when I'm going to go on to my many Jina Dr. Batman, Kalania Makume Muhimai.
Yes.
Wow.
No, because
So
I used to really like her other song.
The one with Sonny.
Yes. And you know the crazy thing? For about a year or two, I feel like I thought you were the one on the song.
Right.
Until one time I heard him say it in the songs that Sonny Bali.
Exactly.
Yeah, oh my God, guys.
Yeah. R.I.P. Sonny Bali wherever you are.
R.I.P. man.
Yeah.
The Gen Z's don't know Mary Japan. They are lost right now.
No.
They are so lost.
You know?
Yeah. So from what's it called? The Trinity Zaza. You're doing a bunch of features, right? And then out of nowhere, I think came Linda.
Yeah.
What I'll tell you the first time I heard Linda. Terry Bonchaka of blessed memory died. Mm-hmm. I think it was 24, right? And there was a memorial service at National Theatre. We were watching it on the TV. I remember me so I have plenty siblings. And they said Batman was coming to perform. And you came out, you were wearing all white. And you started performing the song. And the thing that caught me about this song was, it samples this brass band.
Yeah.
Because of Batman, I don't think anybody actually knows the actual song or the name. Mm-hmm. Because now everybody sings. Yeah. What's the name of
I don't even know the name, but it's a Congolese melody. It's a Congolese inspiration. Yeah.
No, and it was crazy. And then you did the dance. Did you choreograph that yourself, or was it on the spot?
Yeah, I thought of it. I needed some moves for it because now I have a hit song, and that's gonna add up to the 3 on the Trinity catalog. Yeah. So if we're on stage, they're gonna be doing my song with me,
and you have to do a dance.
We have to do a dance.
Bruh, no, listen. I remember I don't know how old I was, but I remember I heard that song for the first time. Immediately, everybody in my house was so happy.
Shouts to Shaka Babsi, Shaka Tuyemi for the dance moves. Shouts to them.
See. Yeah, so I actually want to talk about the making of Linda. I want to talk like how it came about, the writing, the production, and was the Terry Bonchaka memorial performance the first time he performed it live?
Must have been, yes.
I think so.
Yes, because I think Terry passed before I actually officially released the song. Yeah. So Nana King had to travel to LA for a few months, so he left the studio for us. And that's one of the few times that I could have like a full stretch of studio time.
Okay.
Because by that time he had already trusted me as an artist and wanted to work with me. So I had made my way into his books. So I had studio time. So he said, record as much as you can so that when I get back, we will see if you can have an album. Okay. So in experimenting, we did Linda. And Linda is already, like I said, it's something that I already had an inspiration for, and I had been putting together as my maiden hit.
Oh, really? You knew that was going to be... So it's not like you had a bunch of songs and then you picked, but you...
No, I knew that one was one of them one of the things that had occurred to me that I knew that particular thing, that muse that I'm working with is going to be a shot.
Oh, okay.
So I knew it. That one, I knew it. After I recorded Jaishi, song titled Diulaimu, after I recorded that song, I just knew it.
You just knew
that
it.
Automatically, this thing is not regular Ghana radio sound. The topic is not regular Ghana radio topic. This thing will fly.
Yeah, which by the way, because you got a lot of flack for the lyrics of Linda. Mm-hmm. Ghana back then was very, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. These days, the lyrics are all over. Any bullet lyric you get is very head on the nail. Yeah. There's no, back then when Daddy Lumba would say Dr. Panier, today they will say...
today they will give it to you.
So when you were writing Linda, if all those things back then, didn't you think that Ghana for...
I remember when I was interviewed and I said, I could have said Eneana Judea Mediu, but I didn't say that. I said Eneana Judea Pine. So cut me a slack because I dressed it up. So back then, even at that time, we would want to defend something, but, dress it up a bit. They didn't give me the award, but the next year I was there to perform the same song at that award show.
Can you imagine? No, but yeah, so you were writing the lyrics and then like you didn't feel like, okay, let me do a lot. Because you be ye home. I'm also so ye move.
Come on, we had the likes of Daddy Lumba and the rest. We still have.
But Daddy Lumba used to do a lot of euphemisms, like
who can be harder when it comes to these type of lyrics.
True.
So I think mine was just about subtle, if you want to, And then after that kind of bashment, then quickly I had my first child. So my next album, I was just being responsible. So I did Seobi.
Yes. Oh my God, that was the clean era.
Exactly.
That was a clean era.
Yeah.
But who produced Linda, by the way?
Linda, the beat was produced by Kofi Opon Mensah. We used to call him Opomiasis. He's based in the UK now. He's in Manchester now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
He's been there for years. So Kofi, the same guy did Jai Shit for me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
really, really great song. Before I just wanted to also say, so Sonny Bali, R.I.P., but my Samini credits Sonny Bali as the one that kind of like introduced him to Nana King, because I hear he used to go to Gold House.
Yeah,
which by now Gold House and say Ubi Sano. He used to go to Gold House and dance man, and he just used to go and freestyle. And Sonny Bali came there one day. He was like, he said he had like a notebook in his hand. He was pissed off about something. He wanted a beer and he heard you rapping. He was like, follow me, let's go to the studio.
Yep.
And that's how you met Nana King. Ashanti International, right?
Yep.
Exactly. So what would you say Sonny contributed to your artistry?
He saved a young boy from, being distracted from the art. Because right after high school, the energy at Gold House was different. And it was, a more mature people kind of area. But because I am, attracted to the entertainment and the music, I always find myself there playing with people who are like 5-6 years older than me, using all sorts of stuff with them that I shouldn't be using at that age. Talk of alcohol and anything else related. So when he saw me that afternoon, I had already drunk about 2 bottles of beer already. And I was listening, I was hearing good beats. So I was just freestyling.
Were you like 16?
Yeah, about 16. Okay. Yeah. So he just pulled me aside and said, come with me. When we went to the studio, he introduced me to Nana King and said, I heard this voice. And should I ever need anybody to do something like what I do? Because I'm about to go back to England. Should you guys ever need anything like that? I think I've never heard anything that sounds, like what we do, like what this guy just did.
Do you think he heard himself in you?
I think so, because I was inspired by all what was happening, all what they were doing, So I think so. So he also helped me churn out mine. He helped me.
Your voice.
Yes.
Your cadence.
Exactly. Because he heard me and then told me, sing from your stomach.
Oh, okay.
Hey. Don't sing from your throat, sing from your stomach. So then when I started to breathe it out, mine was more baritone, more heavy. Okay. You understand? So I take all of these things as credit to him for what he added to my career. Took me off the streets just before I could be like something else. Yeah.
You could have ended up being, potential power.
Yeah. We have a lot of them like that in Gansuman,
That's real crazy. Like,
and then he also said, if I find you hanging around here, you're not allowed to come back to the studio.
So then you had to make a decision. Exactly. Tough love. Really cool. Okay, so the interesting thing is, I know you've always been inspired by reggae, right? You've spoken about General Marcus, Root I, but it's like when you started off, you were dipping your toes in what's it called, Hiplife a lot, especially with like the Trinity, and then even with Linda, and then when you like came away from the Trinity, and then for your second album, which is Samini, 2007, right? That's when you started to do a lot more of the African dancehall sound that we've known you for. Would you say that like you did that Hiplife era just because you wanted to, be commercial and then get attention?
Yeah, like I said, that was my ticket to the urban radio. That was my ticket to what you would say, what was the word? The commercial space, because I was doing reggae dancehall. I could do like hardcore dancehall, but that was not what Ghana wanted to hear.
Mm-hmm.
And I had heard my predecessors, like you mentioned, General Marcus, man like Rutai, you know, a lot of other guys came through, did pure reggae dancehall. It didn't work out here. Typical example, Rocky Dawuni had to, you know, export the thing and go and do it from where it actually was appreciated, the raw form. And then later on, we had to now realize who he was and catch on. So I wanted to be commercial down here. So I needed to revisit the whole craft and, you know, temper it a bit so the people here will receive it like it's theirs. And then eventually when they know me for what I do, then I can add the rest to it. If you listen to my first, second albums, you'd hear songs like, hey, sexy mama, I wanna roll with you. It's something not that time. If you play it this year, it's still tomorrow's music. You know, but those ones did not make it onto, you know, popular radio. But the ones that I, you know, deliberately wanted Ghana to know me for because, as an artist.
You know, even when you look at the ones that kind of made it, now that I think back on it, you feel the raga. Like, for example, African Lady from Danko Anseri, which is his first album. For those of you who don't know, came out in 2006, right? Yeah,
African Lady was in 2000 Danko Anseri was in 2004.
2004, yeah. African Lady was on there. It was like, girl, I like the way you shake your African Lady, oh. I feel like it has raga, you know? Yeah.
So that was my African dancer that I introduced. That's what I meant by African dancer, because we were doing reggae, we were doing dancehall. So I wanted them to know that.
In that song, you actually refer to yourself as African dancehall kid.
Right. Welcome the dancehall queen to the palace of the African dancehall king. This is an African dancehall thing, and we just do our own thing.
Yes.
Make the girl come to the light. Don't know say in them we take the light. Them are me high grade pass me the light. Am I feel okay? All right. Yeah, so that was the first time that I actually put that phrase in a song. That was in 2006.
Yeah.
Guys,
listen, you know, the funny thing about this generation is like sometimes when some of these things happen and maybe like you are saying, oh, I coined this or I did this, they always feel like you are trying to take away from somebody in the present.
Right.
But it's just like facts.
Yeah. When there's receipts, then you don't talk plenty.
Go back and listen to the records. Yeah. So you know what I never really understood? Okay, you come out with your new album in 2007. Okay. It has, of course, a lot of great hits. And then you get this MTN deal. And quite frankly, I think this is like the greatest.
I think the album was in 2006. My second album.
The second was 2006, right?
Because right after that is when I got nominated for the Mobiles. And then I went for that award.
Yes.
Came back and then MTN came in.
MTN came in.
2007, 8.
So this after just 2 albums.
Yeah.
That level of brand ambassadorship after 2 albums. How old are you like?
I was about 24.
24! Guys, if you're 24 right now and you are given that kind of deal.
Yeah, you're going to go crazy.
Let me tell you. Let me just break it up for you guys, okay?
It was mad.
He was on all the scratch. Back, you guys, before you used to buy airtime over apps and stuff, you used to buy scratch cards and then you scratch it and then you put it in. And he was on every single one. When you call somebody, you know how right now you can like choose what caller tune you want? No. You are hearing only Samini. And
everywhere you go.
Oh my God, and that song.
It's your chance and you have to stand up. Believe in yourself. Everywhere you go.
Hey!
Wait, MTN for give us some coin for Ryan.
Yes, right now.
Yeah,
like,
we will come.
No, it was everything. I felt like that was like, and you did it for 8 good years. So I know you had money. At 24, falling into a deal like that. How was that like?
It was crazy. It was one of the biggest moments of my career, and it happened very early. And it was, I would say again, crazy because for a young boy that age, and for the amount of money that we were talking about, and for the number of times that per my terms we had to always renew and always increase. Otherwise, we would want to, you know what the brand is, you know what their deal is, and what's in for you. So you would always want to up.
Yeah.
And to the extent that I actually had to opt out because I wanted to now go neutral and get to work with other people plus MTN as well. Yeah. But I would say it was one of the best things that ever happened to my career, because apart from the block, there was guaranteed sponsorship for every event that I was doing. Mm-hmm. So I was able to do the Movado concerts. I was able to do the Marco. I was able to do all the international shows, brought in all these acts, So that as well made it such that my events, sponsorship, my budget was already absorbed.
It was always through
that conversation.
The budget's open.
So I would always say big up to the brand MTN and the fact that it was wonderful working together, and we both grew as brands until we parted ways. Yeah. So they always, come on board if I have something that they think makes sense with what they're doing and in alliance with their current whatever. They always come on board and they give me some money for work.
Because I remember you hosted the Ghana Music Awards, right? Twice.
Twice in a row. Hey, you know the story, pal.
Yeah, also, Samini, how did you, this is so crazy. How do you just go from artist to hosting? Because if I'm being correct, the first time I saw you hosting was 2005, Nescafe Africa Revelation.
Mm-hmm. That's where we discovered, that's where
Prior?
Yeah, that's where Prior.
Guys, that's where Prior, Traffics. Wuta was there too.
Wuta was discovered.
Whatever happened to Traffics?
Traffic.
The three guys. You remember them?
Traffic. Yeah, yes.
They used to wear the red, yellow, green.
Yeah, they didn't last.
They didn't. Oh man.
I think I'm not sure they lasted together as a group. So the group name did not.
Yeah. I mean, so wait, how did you get into hosting?
I think most of these directors or the people behind the scene, they see things that we even don't see about ourselves. So they end up picking some of your strengths that you don't know, and then they will challenge you if you would want to, delve into it. So it was George Quay from Charterhouse then, himself, and then the boss, yes. And then the boss, Yola.
Okay.
And, Theresa, they brought the idea that it would be interesting if I would accept to be a host, but they would give me a co-host to keep me,
I think you did well, especially with the Nescafe one. I think it was very laid back, boys, wasn't too formal. If you think about it, now how we host more laid back is not so formal was what you were doing back then.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Bruh, let me tell you, when I think about your career, I feel like there's a lot of blueprint that you've laid down, even in how you do brand and ambassadorial deals. You were dictating terms. Because I even remember when you launched your album, CEO, you did the mall tour with MTN and then Aphrodisiac nightclub with MTN was in there.
Yep.
It got to a time where the brands were dictating what the people that they have signed. No, write this, do this, but I didn't see that with you.
Nah.
And I think that was really crazy. So there was a story where you ended up in the UK, right? And you were contemplating not coming back. This is, we've gone back a little bit. And somebody told you that Linda was a hit in Ghana.
Yeah.
And that you should come back. Why? I feel like you had some good things going on. Why were you contemplating leaving the country?
Around that time, the norm in DC was when you finish high school, you fly. You go fly. And usually people have family abroad who would send them invitation and then you get whatever it is and then boom, you go. So once again, I used to prophesy and say that I would go abroad, but I'll be paid before I go there. And my visa, my ticket and everything is going to be sponsored before I go. This was be me in Form 2 SS. So now, fast forward, Zanza hit, Suja hit. We've gone to UK for a performance. Now I'm looking back. Okay, mommy, they do Ipito for one side. Poppy, they manage one side. My brothers and sisters behind me are there. Right now I'm here in the UK, and the myth or the stereotype that greener pastures. Now I'm here. So, I didn't pay to get here. And if I go back and I'm trying to come again, how am I going to come if this doesn't happen again?
Yeah.
So, what am I going to do? And once again, Sonny, because Sonny had gone back to his mom, so he already lived in the UK. And I told him I'll come there. Now I was there. We were chilling and he's trying to tell me, yo, Ima, me who say boy snake say mo pese mo stay how. You're not staying in England. You're going back to Ghana. But you have about 3 more days left. Just mawadrini or you're going back. Okay. And if you go back, I promise you, you're going to be coming back here, back to back to back to back. And you'll be shocked. Me, I'm from here. I came to Ghana. I came back here. So I'm regular. I can be on the public transport. You don't expect your fans to be with you on the public transport and then come back to your shows. These were his words. And I was youngin', you understand? Yeah. So I took these ones, put them in my knee. And then just before the day itself that would come, there was this executive producer called Ajikot. He used to do Book Back and the rest of them. And Ajikot was interested in Cocovelli's Zaza album. So he was the one that was like already ready to push it by courtesy of Bolare's connections. So now Ajikot calls and says, "Mo Batman or Wainfa." Fanutu phone also. When I came on the phone, he's like, "Wonyom Linda no. But ready Abeku Santana the Yawa Ghana radio so." Yeah. Yenabra na yenka wansem yenabra. So then if a certain Ajikot who is an executive producer that you know that is an investor tells you yenabra na yenkasa. Yeah. Then you know that your album already has, a sponsor. Exactly. And then of course if you've been if it's been confirmed to you that your maiden single is already a banger in Accra before you would release it. There's no really reason to
go and work at Mickey D's.
Yes. That's what Sonny didn't want to see.
Well, that's real crazy. Like, man, that's some good, because I think he was like a big brother. Yeah. That kind of gave you some really good advice. And today, you're sitting here and okay, so you released, I think your 3rd album was Dagaati, right? Yeah. So look, Baba went through the whole space phone Ariba metamorph. I was telling somebody that Batman decided didn't say space phone. So before MTN, there was space phone. Then they became space phone Ariba. Then they became Ariba before they came to MTN. He was Batman. Then became Batman Samini. Then he became Samini. And now you're Samini Dagaati. But anyway, I realized there was a similarity between Where My Baby Day and Odo. It starts off slow and then it picks up. Is that kind of like a Samini method?
I think so. I think it's a style that comes out of me because I've noticed what you just said. Yeah. So then I realized that maybe my creative box has an area where it likes to create from calm and then hits you hard with some speed and then comes back to normal, keeps you calm and then hits you with some speed. And
it works really well with live band. Yeah. It works because when I was growing up, artists like Missy Elliott, I know I'm not going to get one song structure. There's going to be a switch somewhere. Yeah. And I remember after Where My Baby, I was like, okay, is this going to be a Samini thing, Where My Baby? Oh man, what an era. This era, I must say, this album, I feel like you were leaning into the sex symbol stereotype over here. Was that intentional? Because at a point, we're always seeing Batman in his 6-packs. At a point.
Right, I left 3. I forgot add the
3. Was that also, because now that I'm talking to you, I feel like a lot of your career has been very strategic. Because even when you came back with your 2nd album, you started to wear the turbans more. You said the Hiplife, you are giving us ragas, so more turbans. Then when you moved into the Dagaati era, it was like ladies man. Where my baby there? Was that intentional?
I think some people also see certain aspects of you and they would want to highlight on them. So like you say, the packs. I had people around me who would always want me to flash my packs, even though when I'm not interested in doing it. Oh, okay. Bolare would come on stage and rip my shirt off while I perform. Like you come in, rip it off and tell me, I say, come out your shirt. Because, he knows that that's going to bring a wow factor during your performance. So these things I was made aware of and then I decided to now use them as and when I needed them. So I used to flash the packs here and there. As at 2025, if you see my next video for summer, you will see packs where you go shock.
Hey.
You know, be edit, but you go see packs.
Oh, the three.
Where you go wonder, yeah, the three. Where you go wonder, say, actually, but the three still did it. So, as we grow, we evolve, we learn, and then we try and adapt to, current ways of doing things, and then also not fall for what's not really us and not follow the crowd.
Yeah.
So in all of these, I try and stand firm.
I see. I saw you in Cause of Money 1. And I was very delighted. I had Mensa on here and I was like, so you and Samini are friends. Because number one Mango Street, my favorite song is Bribi Wom. That back and forth.
Yeah.
Samini, Mensa, I love it. He told me you guys recorded it in London.
Yeah.
So you were in London in 2009. People don't know this, but Batman actually has a degree in music production.
Yeah,
why am I saying Batman? Sorry, Samini has a...
Yeah, I did.
Talk about that. Why did you decide to do that?
I did a course in Point Blank Music School in Hackney. I just wanted to take a break and, take some academic lessons in my, field of endeavor. And it was one of the best decisions I took. So after that course, when we got our certificates and everything, I went to go see Mensa because he is a genius in these things. So I went to go see him to help me set up my little small studio in London and whatever, so I can be doing my own thing on the side. But me and Mensa come from like way back. I used to go to his house to, sit in the backyard and wait for him to wake up. Because he is already with the Lifeline family. He's already with T-Blaze Dems. We are seeing them on TV. We are just the boys in the hood that want to be like Mensa Dems. We see them, they will braid, we will braid. Yeah, they are like years ahead of us. So I used to go there and play him my demos on cassettes. Then he would listen to all the songs and tell me the ones that are catchy and the ones that he thinks are just a waste of time. Cool. I'll be there. People like Motombo will come around because they went to school together and stuff. I'll see all of them. We used to push metals together. So he also is quite fit.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. But I don't know about the packs though.
I think he should still have them because he likes to eat healthy like me.
So, actually, maybe.
Yeah. So he's always been a big brother and I'm looking forward to doing another masterpiece with him where his head is at right now.
Yes.
From where Mensa is coming, to all the Dada B fans who know him during the GIS days of they come do recognize and all of these shows, and then say the brofo rapper way they come. It be Mensa Dems.
Okay.
For all those people who know that era, to the kind of music he's doing now. Yes. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Did you listen to his new, I think the Time of Your Life?
Yeah. I know they play with Mensa in Vibe. I they soak 'em. Cool. Stuff like that, it be like you go library, go pick book.
Hey.
Yeah. Go study. After that, to go put them down. Yeah.
Oh, cool. So you did Cause of Money and then you also in Fresh Trouble. Yeah. How come your acting never took off?
So you see, that's what I said earlier on. Certain people see certain strengths in you and they want to tap into it and help you maybe embrace it if you would. So Davy, that's his nickname. Albert, he has a last Ewe name. Albert was the one that introduced me to or saw me to be like someone that could act. So he employed myself, Kokovelli, in most of his early, episodes. Yes. Okay. So then after then, Mensa Dems also came with the idea of that thing.
Because of money.
But every experience I've had on set, shooting a movie, the reason, the answer for how come my movie career never took off, it's quite draining.
The mini takes.
Very, very draining profession to be on. Wow. For no disrespect to where we're coming from, for what they get paid for. Yo, I'll take this opportunity to speak to all these producers, directors, all the people behind the music, the movies. I think you can afford to pay them slightly more.
Way more.
Yeah, no, slightly more. Just for respect's sake. Because me as an artist, today's rate, 2025, you're talking between 150 to 250K full band. 150 to 250K Ghana cedis. Yeah, me and my band will be there. Same 2025. You want an A-list actor on set for the next 3 weeks, for all his time and everything. Bro, you go believe me say the people no go give the guy 10,000 cedis.
Really?
They no go give him 10K.
So it's how much?
Thank you. Some of the big names, they are able to push to maybe 20, 25. But that one self, it depends on who's coming. I mean, I put my ear on the ground. I have friends in that industry.
Wow.
And I've been on set to act before. I didn't go on set to be paid because I was like, however I was contacted, I was interested in doing whatever it was.
Yeah.
But to listen to what's happening and listen to whatever package they have, then you would want to know, but what happens here? Who gets what? Then I realized that the people know they pay the people low. The same entertainment inside with the musicians, artists, you can even call them maybe Q list. A Q list artist will not collect 10,000 Ghana cedis to come and stand anywhere in Accra here and do it all. They know the rates. They
3
know
weeks.
that, yes, they know that at least some 15, 20 video you go do for 3 songs.
Yeah.
So if you compare your time that they take for the 3 songs and your time that they take for the 3 weeks, where they won't give you 2K, where they won't give that boy 3 songs, 15K, you and that boy, no, you not go to compare. You understand?
Yeah.
You all did the same area. You go act small. Anytime you go for weeks, you will come back. Your mommy knows say you come. You have some 2-5. When Killer for the down there, when they call him for Sukula,
for 2 hours.
Go perform Salah first.
4 hours.
30 minutes. You have 15K.
That's crazy.
So, something has to be done. If nothing at all, I think there should be some sort of monitoring or some sort of, I don't know what economic
union.
word to use.
Some union to...
So that they can control their remuneration
for them.
So that they can all come together and say, henceforth, for an A-list act, 50,000 cedis minimum.
Minimum, yes.
For B-list, nobody they go below 30. For the rest of them, I beg you, nobody they pay anybody under 15K for any job whatsoever.
We have to make sure that some people will also not go back and say, "Would you imagine this?" Them day, because that's what the problem is.
Them day, but you see, eventually it will help them all.
Yeah, it's true.
I think the movie space. I mean, I just got emotional there because I just say it be something we do. It a ring bell.
No, that's crazy.
They know they pay
That's
them.
crazy because then you kind of understand
for what
how
they do,
the
for the effort
industry
they put
is actually
in the
falling
movies,
apart.
and for
sometimes.
the movies we see and enjoy. They know they pay them the requisite
amount that
they deserve.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. They know they get what it is that really they should get for whatever they put in there. You know?
Suffice to say that if Hollywood calls Samini, he will be there because he will be paid well. Aye. So in 2013, you dropped Next Page. I mean, apart from the fact that Next Page had Time Bomb, which is one of the classics.
Yeah.
Shawty moving like a time bomb. Hey, she wanna explode. Your man, that song is so great. Apart from that, I actually like that you brought us Grace Okansi. You brought us, I mean, Samini, to be fair, if you don't know, Samini has given us Stone Boy, Kofi Kinata, and Kaki. But I want to talk about Kaki.
You're not ready for her return, but you go on.
She's coming back.
You go on. You're not ready for Kaki's return.
Kaki has one album, right?
Yeah.
Or is it one album?
Yeah.
Every single song on that album is a banger.
Yeah.
Master J, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so tell us how you met Kaki. I know Master J had something to do with it.
Yeah. So JMJ was part of this reality TV show they were doing, and I think Kaki came out third or something.
Okay.
So JMJ approached me and said that he knows that the girl has all it takes to win the thing, or had all it took to win it, but a few things that she didn't get right is why she wasn't the first. But he can promise me that this girl will be the one who will hit out of the people that came out top 3. Yeah. Because he can see some potential there. All we have to do is to polish it. You know, no disrespect, but you see, some of the girls came as like pretty, you know, model already type, and Kaki came as raw. Yeah. So JMJ was like, you know what? If we used dancehall, we can land quicker than any other genre, because that one there, we can polish them small, but it's still hard. If we try and make a sweet
Raquel, it's not gonna work.
There's too much competition
Put
there
in
already.
A wig,
So JMJ is the one that introduced Kaki to the team and said that this is our next signing. So we all get to work and we all start to write and make sure that she has the lyrics and the songs.
Which, by the way, I heard you wrote for Kaki. Wait, I want to hear like 2 songs that you wrote, because I saw you on the Culture Daily Show saying that you were writing certain things.
I wrote
too much.
I was part of Too Much.
Yes.
And then I wrote Toffee Pantang.
That's my song.
That's like completely my works.
Toffee Pantang, you wrote that?
100%, yeah.
Oh, that's my song. That's my song. Okay.
So we had a group of writers, like different people who contributed in putting together a Kaki song. Sometimes JMJ will come up with the hook because he thinks this sounds nice to him, but he needs verses. Someone will come in and do the first verse, someone will come and do the second verse for Kaki to come and listen and then retake, So some of the songs you'd have multiple writers on there, and then some of them were also solo writers.
Okay. Yeah. So like her branding, her image and everything was just you guys sitting down and just like,
Yep. We were behind the scene.
No, she had a really great run, honestly. And also with Kinata, what was the appeal?
What caught my attention was the Fanti rap.
Oh, okay.
I was interested in it. It sounded funny to me, so I liked the guy. And then when we brought him closer, I realized he had a good ear for melodies and he wasn't tone deaf. So this was someone that I could inspire to sing. So when we told Kofi to start singing some of these funny things that he's been saying, because the lyrics are dope, and I think if you make it melodic, it will reach a more wider audience than, just reciting.
Rapping,
So Kofi even went on on strike for about 2 weeks. He wasn't talking to anybody in the house because I'm a mayor rap. Mr. Mayor rap. What's missing? I've been singing, so now there wasn't been singing this time. I'm a rap now, Mr. Mayor now. This is what and there wasn't been singer. I'm more you. Like joke we do how we go do I think Begis Diano. Yeah, that was the first attempt.
Yeah.
So imagine his first attempt at singing. And you see the lyrics in Begis Diano. Yeah. If he was rapping them, these are pure rap lyrics. So it's interesting. It's storytelling. Yes.
Yeah.
But the moment he sang that, it was straight up there. So he himself now, I know the next demo bad singing, same vibe. The next one. So we just knew that Kofi was gone. Off. He's super talented and he's a great writer.
Yeah.
So
I think he's even one songwriter at VMA so many times. Yeah. No, Kofi Kinata is dope. And I can't believe that it was rap, because now I look at him, what would that have sounded if he was like a hardcore fancy rapper?
Because I featured him on
is it Movement? Do you have a song called
Party Time?
Party Time.
I'm not even first and whatever about what do to whatever. So if you rap, you can rap for my song top. Around that time, I'll be rap.
I see. I probably listened to it. I didn't even notice that was really Kofi because of all the rapping. But yeah. And then of course, Stonebwoy. I know Stonebwoy came to you, he got introduced to you through your dances, one of your dances. Yeah.
I think that must have been the very first encounter through Baba Shaka Babsi.
Okay.
Yeah, he must have moved to him backstage just as we had come off stage or something. Yeah.
And so for Stonebwoy, what would you say was the appeal? What was that thing that you saw that you were like, oh, this guy has it?
The fact that he wasn't like a replica of me made me a fan of what he was doing. The fact that I didn't see it like, because if you come to me and you are trying so hard to sound like me, so I know that sounding like me is what it means to do music or to do reggae or dancehall. Then, unfortunately for you, if you don't naturally sound like me, we will all know that. So that said, I had so many people come to me till I met him. So he made a difference.
Oh, so he was different. He stood out.
Anytime I said, maybe like boss a freestyle, whatever he was doing, I knew straight that, okay, this is different. This is not sounding like everybody who has tried to sound like me from when I landed. That's on radio. So should I push this? It can penetrate quicker because it's fresh for everybody that likes what we're doing. For everybody that likes our genre of music, this is a fresh introduction, a fresh sound
to the genre. Yeah.
So I was moved already from the rawness, and then also going forward, I saw the strength in studio with his melodies and harmonies.
Right.
So I knew that, like myself, he was a walking choir. He could do his own lead. Do his own alto, tenor, bass,
because I've heard
treble.
you stack your vocals. I've heard that you stack your harmonies. Yeah,
I'm a walking choir. When you do one harmony, the next one that you should do already occurs to you. Then you do it. Then the next one that you should do already occurs to you until the highest and the most invisible one. Like you just, so you're helpless with that. So that if you're not careful, you overstack your music with everything you hear. And I realized that he knew how to maneuver that. He didn't get carried away with those things. It's more like you've seen a good player that you know that this boy there, when I sign him, he will play the ball hard because this boy, he play the ball. That's what it was like. He did play, skill.
I'm realizing now that all of these three guys were vocalists.
Yeah.
Like, cause all of them on a live band stage, they kill it.
Yeah.
They're also very musically inclined. I know Kaki was like, she used to sing properly.
Yeah.
Back in school, church girl. She was like a choir lead or something like that. So I'm realizing that these are like, it wasn't just, okay, these are the ones I found. Like people that came to you, out of all of them, these were the very best. And all of them have been iconic.
Yeah.
You're talking about Stonebwoy not sounding like you. You got a lot of comparison to Borax. At a point, nobody could tell, is this Samini or is this Borax? How was that like for you? What did you think about the comparison? Did you and Borax?
Personally, I didn't even see the big deal.
Okay.
Because I didn't see myself sounding like Borax.
Oh, you didn't?
No, because I am more husky. And
marriage certificate.
So when you're trying to do Batman. All right. Understand? So I was husky. So I knew that it was more of the tone and the style that people were looking at. And me and Borax come from the same era, National Theatre days. They were slightly our seniors.
Okay.
Yeah. He inspired me early days too. One of the boys because they were a group and he was doing the dancehall in there.
Okay.
And he would use this bass voice. They used to come from Accra Academy. He would use this, they would use the see you when you get the instrumental. And he would be the last one to do the verse.
Okay.
So I know Borax before. Yeah. So during that time, there were those other, guys, and then there was Batman. And then eventually there still is Batman.
Samini Dagaati.
Yeah.
All right. So I just want to talk about some of your iconic features that you've had. And then we're going to segue into what you've been up to. Because I know you just came back from Joburg to shoot. You went to shoot a music video.
Yeah.
Yes, I know.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, you said on the Culture Daily show that you had an album coming out in 2023. You made us wait. So I'm hoping it's coming.
I think that is when I did the EP, right?
Burning.
I did a Burning EP instead. Yeah. So there's an album for 2025.
Yeah. Because, I was listening to Burning and for some reason I wasn't even listening to lyrics and stuff. I was just listening to the production. And it just hit me that like you've reached the point of production excellence. Like sonically, the music is good. Before you get into the subject matter, sonically. And I was just like...
It's very important.
I'm now eager to hear a Samini album in 2025.
Yeah.
I'm now eager, very eager. But anyway, let's just go over them. King David. Ayefinoche. Oh no, I think he put the song out first. Yes. And then there was a remix.
Yes, we did the
Back then, how did that happen? Is it like the song hits, then you will be like, let me jump on it? Or was this like...
I was actually called to do that feature.
By who?
By DJ Ames. DJ Ames used to manage King David. I was actually paid for that feature.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Around that time, I didn't know I critical.
Business.
Yeah. So then the Batman voice was sought after at that time. So DJ Ames of blessed memory linked up and told me that his nephew is coming up with this song that he wants me on.
Okay.
So called me to Hash Hash Studio. What's his name was there? King David was there, and then JQ was there as well. Yeah. So I went in there, and then I heard the song and I did my freestyle, because that was actually a freestyle. Yes, I didn't write that. Yeah, that was one of those ones that was from top head because of how I felt about the song. It was a Jama song. Yeah. So I wanted something it was one of the easiest works to do for me, because King David had already done everything on that song, from how the beat was done for him by JQ and from the story he was telling. It was already a banger. Yeah. He didn't need me to come and be doing no.
And I feel like the remix was bigger than the original.
Yeah.
Bigger than the original, because a lot of people don't even know that the original was just there without you on it. Yeah. Because your feature is a big part of what people like about the song. So I think you do a lot of freestyles, because I also found out that Ojo, the version that came out was the freestyle.
Yeah. Yeah, the version that.
TikTok.
Yeah. Big boy, Samini big boy. I am an bell ring ding dong. For my baby, I'm singing this. So more of, I did like the first 8 bars of it was more from top of my head. Okay. And then I continued to structure the rest. So when I finished that recording, we went home. And then the next day I came back to the studio to now retake it properly. When I retook the recording, then Bodo Steiger of blessed memory, that German engineer that used to work on the High Life people's music.
Daddy Lumba's stuff. Oh yeah, I remember.
So Bodo was like, nah, he doesn't like the new one because the new one feels too structured. See the old one, when you hear the yaga, you like the excitement in the thing, and they like, it's not rule and down.
Yeah.
So
inhibited. Yeah.
So he chose the one we did the day before over the one that I had come and redo. And that also taught me a lesson that sometimes I have to just allow it and not be too Mr. Perfect.
I think that Mensa told me that that's how you guys recorded Baby Room.
Yeah.
Like you were just fooling around.
Yeah.
And you can feel it.
Yeah.
Another big one, Kwesi P. Odofa Chemi. It takes a real man to apologize. I thought it was wise, but now I realize that
love is not a thing we must jeopardize. I lied to you before, but now I have to pay the price. Yeah, I wish I never lied in my whole life. Yeah. Now I wanted you to be my wife. So darling, forgive me and forget. All right.
Who was the one that sang?
I remember the last time I sang this song.
Who was that? She wasn't in the video or anything.
No,
so
that voice, I think it's
you fruits. Oh my God.
I have to be sure. Who
it will come to you. But like, I feel like you've always been in like deals. Because I remember that music video. It was the guys from Big Brother Africa, Gaetano and Abby.
Yeah,
they were in that song. So, and video. I know that whole project.
So that song was what's his name? Talal Fatal.
Yes,
originally done by
Metro TV.
Yeah, the owner of Metro TV. So he now did like a remake of the song. So he had Kwesi P did one version, and then they did another version with Two-Face Idibia. Yeah, and then all those experiments was just Talal being Talal,
Mad. Like, I don't know. There was an era where like a Samini verse, Batman verse. Like, if you have it, your song is gone.
Yeah,
that was so crazy. And then we come into adult music.
That's all.
I think this is one of your biggest features.
Yeah.
This song, and then you see where you put two men who are like already known for being sex symbols. This song was big. And a music video, they are massaging these girls. Yo. Okay, so did Kwabena call you? What was the conversation like about the song?
Kwabena called me and he said, "Bad man, I have a perfect song for us. Yeah, the song I have, you're the only one that can understand what I'm trying to do with this. So I'm going to send it over. and then I need you to do justice to it. So I heard the song and I got what he was trying to talk about. Yeah, it has to be very, very, very sexually suggestive, very, very promiscuous.
Can you imagine all the way from Linda to this? We are full circle.
I was saying, I was saying, penny, right? So I did my part. He was happy about it. We did the video, and I must say, is one of the biggest, collaborations that I did.
Yeah.
Apart from Ojo, I would say, Ojo and this one will be at the top 2. Yeah.
You have to give us some of it. I want to caress you from head to toe. Give us something. So that some of these people don't know. Adult music.
Oh. He did it for Google.
Hey, Samini has forgotten the lyrics.
Oh, adult music. Adult music, I could never forget the lyrics.
Yeah,
I think I even perform it on stage as one of my sets,
all the time.
Yeah, if I'm doing like an extended performance, I usually do bits of my iconic features.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
there's so many more iconic songs, but we only have time for one more. Konkontiba.
Wow. Obo is a go-getter,
I love that song so
Obo
much.
chased me from across the whole Kumasi some day. I was in Kumasi and he had come to record that song and he knew I was in Kumasi. He wanted me on the song. I was doing stuff elsewhere. I was just being myself. Then I know they take Obo serious because I know him already.
Yeah.
He's Kokoveli's friend. They went to Kwabutre together.
Okay.
So sometimes we hang. So Obo crowd have my drink. Obo crowd have drink. So Swevin San Obo, he search me, find me for Kumasi, take me, go, hits digital, Morris in studio. Make we do the vocals for Konkontiba. And I'll never forget that day because he pushed till he got what he wanted.
Also, like everything that you were doing, you'd be like, no, do something else.
Yeah, I mean, no, not like during the recording, more of how to get me to come to studio.
Oh, okay.
That day, I wasn't in the mood to go to studio with Obo Bia. I wasn't ready to go. But it was 2 things. He could have decided to take it personal and say, my paddy, right now, he make stars so he rush.
Yeah.
Or I go catch and pull him from in Rasta and make campus go do everything safe.
Yeah.
So Obo was doing the latter.
He used that one, yeah.
Yeah. Because that's what he should do.
Yeah.
That'd be boys.
Konkontiba.
Yeah.
Minuwana bet tonight. Oh, found to my
mediano, my engine pinai.
Wow, man. Look, sometimes I feel like the good times are behind us. And I'm like, oh, that's such an old person thing to say. But anyway, yeah. Before we get into what you're doing now, I know you were recently back in school at Gimpa, and I saw in an interview you said Kokaveli is the one that actually pushed you to go and study there. And then you were also SRC president. I remember when I saw it, I was like, hey, is Samini going to enter politics? Is this like the segue?
I think it looks like that for most people because almost everyone that's ever been SRC president ends up doing some sort of politics. But I don't think it's part of my immediate plans. If anything at all, I'm interested in building myself, developing myself to become a statesman that would be worthy of any sort of serious appointment to handle anything serious based on my private excellence in business.
Okay.
So then my challenge now is to be excellent in my private business, so much so that if there is any regime at any point in time that they look around and they want able-bodied men to come to the big table, I would be attracting them from my corner without even shouting. So most of that is part of why I went to school and part of why I'm still doing other courses low-key.
Oh, okay.
You know, because there's that side of me that likes the book. There's that side of me that did not want to go to school when the time was for school.
Right. It's like it's happening now, later in life. So, you're now serious.
Exactly.
That's so cool. So what are you working on now? I know it's an album. What is the sonic expectation? Do you have a timeline?
Well, this is the 8 ball. I call it the 8 ball because that's my 8th album.
Oh,
and
yeah, true.
So all 7 balls cleared off the table is the 8 ball now. But I have to be specific which hole the 8 ball is going in, and I have to make sure the 8 ball goes in that hole. So it's quite a tough one, and I'm working on it. I have a few special features on there. So like I said, you're not ready for Kaki's return.
That's crazy.
So Kaki is on the album. You have Stoneboy on the album.
Hey!
You have
Hold on, Samini.
You have Mugi's on the album.
Which, by the way,
yeah,
I heard you go way back with Mugi's, and he used to be called Gogome.
Gogome was on my first album. Gogome rapped on Igwe.
Oh, okay.
All right. So Mugi's is on the album. I have Soweto Gospel Choir on the album.
Mad.
Yeah, so that's what I went to SA to shoot the video for.
Oh, they are going to be playing you in Cape Town in Joburg, December. Hold on.
And then have a few other exclusive that I would like to
hold on to
my chest.
On to it.
But it's an album that I am hoping that it does, what it's meant to do and beyond. And to God be the glory. Everything is going well so far.
Yeah.
And so time-wise, we're looking at May.
Okay.
We're looking at May.
May, guys. You heard it here first.
Yeah.
Is Samini Fest coming back this year?
Samini Experience, yes, in December.
That's the one.
The Dansuman one, that's why you said Samini Fest. Yes. So they want it back. They want it back.
Because I didn't see the signboard last year.
Yeah, I am still trying to bring it back, but bring it back big like we used to do it. So it's like a street jam, street carnival, all streets blocked, because the vendors like it. Yes. The local vendors, our mothers and our sisters, they like it. So right now they're calling for someone told me that night they sold more than they've sold throughout the whole 6 months of whatever. So stuff like that. If you do it well and you get crowd, then people are happy. So when your sponsorship is not solid, when your budget is not absorbed, then and technically you are not ready. You don't do that because a brand is at stake. So this one is like a CSR for me. So I have to be careful when I'm, coming back to it. But Samini Fest in Dansuman will be back.
It has to, because we don't have a lot of headline shows. Kaswa has like 500, So that was one of the ones that I know Dansuman people really. I think if I'm not blowing my own horn, I would say that we're still the very few artists that can be attributed to Dansuman. You can say Samini, you can say Tic Tac, and then Mensa, Kokoveli, and we were the people that were doing DC. Yeah. And so if we're still active in the space, it wouldn't be difficult to get people to show up if we say we're. So what we would need now is the commerce part of it. Yeah. Yo, businesses, come on. Let me tell you something. DC is a whole hub now. There's everything in DC. There's a Burger King in DC. There's a Starbites in DC. There's a Pink Berry in DC. DC has everything now. You don't have to move out.
Yeah.
So
there's the DC homecoming as well that Ancestor them used to do. That's also something that can be revisited. And then if it's done right and everybody's times and everything is factored in, you get the right people to be there.
You can even do artists from DC concert.
Something like that. Yeah.
And that will be a full, they don't even need opening acts.
I mean, you people, you go feel organized. We be the artists. So somebody for organize, make the artists come.
Yo, true. Yeah, we need the commerce side of this to make sense. It's true. That's the thing. No, but that would be such a cool concept. Look, I feel like you've had an illustrious career. This was one of the most difficult interviews to prepare for because it was just so many things. There's so many questions I had to put aside, but you've done so much, and the fact that listening to you speak, there's more that you want to do. You still have plans. It's really great. At 43, it doesn't feel like, tenase. You know what I'm trying to say? We're still interested. We're still looking forward to seeing more. And I'm just really glad that your artistry exists as an example of what you can do as an artist, business-wise, brand-wise. And the thing you said about, you're putting yourself in a place where when certain boards come up or whatever, I feel like right now, top of mind awareness, if you're looking at brands that are tight and they know what they're doing, you're already there.
Yeah.
You're definitely already there.
I mean, there's businesses that we do that aren't necessarily entertainment. And all these areas we try and train ourselves so we have the dexterity to be in those spaces.
Yeah.
I do oil and gas. I've been doing oil and gas for years.
Okay.
I do mining. I've been doing it for years.
Okay.
Money metals. My younger brother, Martin Samini, is a mining engineer that has done extra courses that I'm going to have to call him now to tell me his current qualification. So when it's mining, I got that side as well. I've been doing agric before I even said agric.
Okay.
You know, but you don't shout.
Yeah.
You know, so that when it's time to show working, you just show working. But for agric, I like to inspire the youth with agric. So that with every given opportunity when I speak, I want them to know, go into agric. Because that's like the future.
Yeah.
You know, if you have any land back where you're from, if you have any family land that does not have any mansotrin on
litigation.
Not every family member is ready to go do it. But when you go and do it, you will see
they will show up.
You know, yeah. So agric, you guys should look into it and take that serious. You know, so all these areas, and then real estate as well. I've been doing that as well for a good number of years now. Yeah, so you might not know the name of an estate I built and sold, but we've been doing that as well. So as I speak, I'm throwing light on that as well, so that in this day and age where we have beyond the return and we have all these business people coming home, some of us, we have brands that we can't compromise with, brands that are on the line should we do anything incriminating or anything dubious. So if you're looking for anything along the lines of all these businesses I've mentioned, I believe we can break bread, and I believe I'm you can find me.
Yes.
If you're looking for hide. I can't hide. So if it's real estate, if it's mining, if it's agric, if it's everything else I've mentioned here. And also my people that are into painting, drawings and all this, that's another side of me that I don't shout about. Yeah. I draw, I sketch, I do stuff, I design stuff. I'm into fashion as well. So there is eventually we might pull a Kanye on them, but it would take time. I have like a catalog of designs that I did myself.
Wow.
That, are all avenues that we're going to be exploiting and expanding while we grow.
Multi-talented. That's what it's giving. Yeah.
See, you need multiple streams of income before you call yourself rich. Until all these streams show positive balance. 7+ streams before you call yourself a rich man. All these streams shouldn't just be icons and then you call yourself a rich man. They should be functioning streams with reliable machinery and with a positive bank balance. Thank you.
Listen, I think that if you're an artist or you're an aspiring artist, like this is the mindset you need to have, because in this industry, it's very touch and go. So once you hit it big, you're in the limelight, you have to be very smart about investing and looking at how you can set things up for yourself. Because it's a very seasonal whatever. But our last question is, what do you want every single person that ever comes across your artistry, your legacy, the work that you've done, when they say, oh, Samini, this guy, what do you want them to understand about you?
Understand that, see, there's the divine, but it shows through men who allow themselves as the vessel. So if you see me, you see the grace of God. So I want you to see the grace of God when you see my work. When you encounter my work, when my work moves you. That is how great the maker that we all don't see but revere is. That's how great the one that created the muse is. So that's me.
The grace of God is evident in the lifelong achievements and works of Samini Dagaati. Samini, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me,
I
man.
believe the conversation has been really great. I hope you enjoyed yourself.
I enjoyed every bit of it. And thanks for
you.
giving me the opportunity to throw lights on my new projects coming out. Because what a perfect timing.
I know. This conversation has actually been around for like 6 months.
I know. So you see, everything has to happen for a good reason, and everything has to be mutually beneficial.
In good timing.
To both ends in good timing.
Yeah.
Because if we had done this 6 months ago,
it wouldn't
there are
have
things
the same,
that I couldn't sell.
Thank you so much, guys. Listen, it's been another great episode. Every time you come to Sincerely Accra, we put you on to some really good things. I want to give a quick shout out to my co-creator and producer, Mr. Kwame Asante Ofori, and of course, the Gold Coast Report, the #1 podcast hosting network in the whole Ghana. I'll catch you on the next one. Stick and stay.